Hello everyone, Mrs. Roberts-Bray here, back for our next episode of Library News from Home. And this is a very special edition of Library News from Home because it is School Library Week! Yay! This is the week we usually take to celebrate all things fabulous and wonderful in our library, all of the amazing books that we have access to, all of our amazing resources, everything that we have available, and all the things that our school library does for us. Unfortunately, we're not able to be in our school library this week, so we're going to do the best we can to celebrate our school library from home and all the amazing things that a library provides for us. So let's get started today. I have one of the books that I love to read during school library week, and it is called Goldie Socks and the Three Librarians. Is that a librarians? Librarians? It is written by Jackie Mims Hopkins and illustrated by John Manders. And this is something called a fractured fairy tale because it's based on the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story, but it's a little bit different because it's about books and the library. Goldilocks is wandering through the forest one day when all of a sudden she comes across a cottage. And look, the cottage is made out of books. Wouldn't that be the best place to live? I think I would love to live in a house made out of books. She knocks, but nobody's home. And so she goes inside and she realizes, oh, look at all of the amazing books. Of course, just like with the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story, some books are too big, some books are too small, until she finds those just right books. It's wonderful. But then she goes to find a place to sit and read those books. And one chair does not work. Another chair, too squishy. Until she finds a reading tent. And she's able to sit and read in that book. But just like in Goldilocks and the Three Bears come home. And they find that somebody's been looking at their books. And somebody's been sitting in their chairs. Just like at the real Goldilocks story with their beds and their porridge and their chairs. And there they find Goldilocks in Little Bear's reading tent, reading her books. Does anybody else like to read in tents? I love to read inside tents. It's one of my favorite cozy little places to get a flashlight and read inside a tent. Just like Goldilocks. She looks up from her book and she sees the Three Bears are smiling at her because just like in our library is for everyone. And we always want to celebrate reading, and we want to celebrate everyone being welcome in our library, just like Goldilocks and her three librarians. So I love this story, and I can't wait to read it to you again once we are back in our school library, instead of just kind of going through the pictures. But one of the resources that I have for us today that I want to share for you is actually a podcast. And a podcast is something that you can listen to while on the computer or on an iPad or any kind of podcast area, sort of app that you have, I guess, would be. Otherwise, you can, sometimes there's video to go along with it and you can actually watch while they are speaking. But usually a podcast is just something you listen to. And this podcast is called Kids Ask Authors. And it's with Grace Lynn. And Grace Lynn is an author that she's written many wonderful stories, more for upper elementary, middle school students. But she is on episode 16. And the cool thing about this is that kids can submit questions. So if you look up here in the upper left-hand corner right here, it tells you there's a place for you to click on the link for you to be able to submit a question. If you have a question for an author, you could submit that. She'll then investigate and see if she can contact that author and talk to them a little bit about that question. Like one thing that she has here, when she interviewed Linda Sue Park, the question was, what language did your parents speak when you were a child? Then the next one, how do you celebrate after you've written a book? Ooh, that was a good one. Another one that she asked was that a student submitted, what comes first for you when you make a picture book, the story or the pictures? Oh, that is a good question. See if they can come up with the illustrations first or if they use their words and come up with the story. So again, 16 episodes here. Ooh, there's one with Mo Willems. She interviewed Mo Willems. That's cool. Let's see, who else has she got? Jane Yolen, Christopher Myers, Jared J. Krasaska. We've talked about him before. We love him. Draw Every Day with JJK. We talked about that. That's a great one. So some amazing episodes here for you to be able to go back. And again, if you have a question that you'd like to submit, you can definitely do that. Or it says submit a book review, a poem, or a joke. And she might actually read your joke on her podcast. That would be super cool. So yeah, Kids Ask Authors with Grace Lynn. And it is just kidsasksauthors.com. So I will put up a little screenshot of this in case you can't see it, because I know it's not great. I'm on my other computer today too. But I'll put up a screenshot of this in our library news video so that you can take a look and see if that's somewhere that you would like to go to. If maybe your family enjoys listening to podcasts, this would be an opportunity for you to be able to do so. So here is the screenshot of that podcast so that you can find it on your own. All right, so the last two things I have for us today, that's right, I said two. The last two things I have for us today is, of course, our read aloud, but then I also have something to end our library news with. But first, before I get ahead of myself, so the book that I have for us today for our read aloud is called The Library Book, and it is written by Tom Chapin and Michael Mark, and it is illustrated by Chuck Gronick. And it is published by Scholastic. Saturday morning, and the rain is pouring. Dad worked late last night. He's in there snoring. Same old stuff on TV. Boring. So, what if I can't go out and play? I know what I'll do today. Read and find out. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, and check it out. Oh, she's headed to the library. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, and check it out. Now, I like the books, and they like me. So when I go to the library, I sit down in my favorite chair, and I check to see who is there. Maybe one book, maybe two. Take me home, says Winnie the Pooh. And if we have to travel far, I'll bring my honey jar. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in and check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in and check it out. Sleeping Beauty yawned and said, I'll come when I get out of bed. But Madeline says, let her nap, and jumps right into my lap. The cat in this hat says, hey, I'll go. Don't take him, cries Pinocchio. Don't take that cat to your address. He always makes a mess. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in and check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in and check it out. Mrs. Parker's back behind the checkout desk today. The Cheshire Cat jumps on her head and says, let's play. But Mrs. P says, goodness, are you sure you want all of these? Oh, yes, we all shout together. She says, shh, quiet, please. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book. Check it in and check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary. Picking out a book. Check it in and check it out. The 7 dwarfs begin to shout. Say, take us with you. Check us out. Then Cinderella gets her gown and Babar grabs his crown. Then Curious George swings from the shelf. Along comes Mother Goose herself. Out the door we dance and sing. The whole library rang. going down to the library, picking out a book. Check it in and check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book. Check it in and check it out. I'm going down to the library. Picking out a book. Check it in and check it out. And there she is at home, reading her books. Now, friends, I cannot wait for the day when you get to come back into our libraries and I get to see you and you get to check those books, check them in and check them out, take them home, say hi to the dictionary, just like our main character here. Say hi to Mrs. Roberts-Bray, of course, and all our friends in the library, where you can come and check out books and take those home with you again. But until then, I hope you are still reading at home. I hope you have some great access to books at home, whether you have bookshelves like these full of books for you available, or you have some books that have been sent home from your teachers, or if you have some books online that you're reading. Either way, I hope that you have access to lots of great books that you're able to keep reading and keep getting to know all those crazy characters in our stories. And some of my friends have shared some of the great books that they are reading right now. So in my last episode, I asked you to share some pictures with me, and I've seen some great ones. If you didn't get a chance to share your picture, that's okay. Share them with me still. I'll share more of our pictures than those of us who are reading at home. I'll share those pictures with us on Thursday's episode of Library News. So as I say goodbye today, my friends, happy School Library Week. I'm so glad that we are able to celebrate all things library, even if we can't do it together. At least we can continue to celebrate our love for books and our love for literacy. Take care, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a great day, friends.